What's good, man? It's OG Drip, man. It's a channel where we talk about the spiritual truth and how to utilize energy on a day-to-day basis, man. If y'all ain't seen the angels versus demons, go check that out. Right now, we're going to talk about angels versus humans because things do get played out and filtered in some weird little tricky lens out here. And one thing about this world right now, bro, we living in, is like a big old funny mirror. It's not exactly what it seems like it is. But as you angelic enough or being intact with yourself enough, you'll understand what's going on, especially if you've been in the shadows just looking at this shit for years. Because if you just getting out here, it's almost like you just getting access to this. Like, nah, it's enough hits across the head, enough bumps in the road, or enough things that you should have experienced in your life that'll probably get you to that point. And if you haven't, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Just keep living and you'll get to that point one day. But when I'm saying this right now, I'm talking deep. And so a lot of times people don't really realize when a person like me even do these type of videos, I'm not looking for billions of views. That's not going to like really come up in the world that we live in right now. And if it is, it's not going to be like the actuality of them actually being able to intake some of the things that go on. And that's cool because that's when you have a separation of human and angels. Because a lot of times, a lot of people don't understand. When you're an angel, you're not God, but you're not necessarily a human either. Because a human take in things and just go along with whatever the energy getting hit by. When you become more angelic, you don't even have to direct or even necessarily pay attention to what's going on in the sky. It's almost like your body, like your spirit going to direct your mind into something else. But if you never have access to that realm, so you always stuck into mental wars of saying, hey, you always putting your mind somewhere and you don't necessarily notice, like you letting your mind control everything else. So your spirit is falling back. So it's like a drunk driver situation, right? Because now your spirit just going places inside the spaceship. And then speaking of that, later on, I want to bring up something because they on some trickery stuff too right now. And like I said, what is a funny mirror. So at the end of the day, it's all type of trickery going on, especially when it comes down to the mind of humans versus the mind of angels. So the mind of humans is they're going to correlate everybody to being just like them. And sorry to say, some people just not the same. Some people just actually go through more and they actually learn different paths in life and they actually change their life. They actually change their mind. They actually change it, complete their whole path. Instead of being on a path of destruction or a path of death, they become on a path of life. Y'all got to understand, like when it comes down to certain breakdowns of how these people try to explain it all, it just makes shit complicated. But beyond that, if you ain't have all these restrictions, all these things that's forcing you to go through things, it would show a lot more clearer. But at the end of the day, that's when we got to know we just living in the times where we have to fight back. But at the same time, it's like you ever seen a movie and it's like one of those superhero movies, right? And they fighting somebody and now they got to go to the whole realm. Basically like our Dragon Ball Z with Goku when he had to go fight Pycon in that other place with the dimension when he died, basically. It's something like that. It's like we in one of those dimensions of what they'll consider like hell in some ways. Because you know what I mean? Because it's nobody's trying to be angelic. And if you're trying to come as an angel, this is when you get pinned down and you get held for being the one that's responsible for everything else, even though you know that you're responsible for even looking out for fools in a certain degree. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't mean that as in saying like everybody fools, but I'm just being the most broad I can with it though, because at the end of the day, it is what it is. Because the majority of the world do not think like an angel do. An angel think on a higher degree of how to do something. Like, okay, instead of us thinking a bad way of looking at something, let's look at it from a higher perspective of saying, yes, let's take this degree. It don't have to be flat across. Anytime someone start being flat, like, oh, this is what you did this for, or this is what you're doing it for, and you don't have nowhere that you're actually aiming it, it's like you're just pointing in misdirections. So at the end of the day, it's like you're using a scattered beam instead of using something more direct and something more potent, and it's going to make sure it hit your purpose and where you're trying to go at. So at the end of the day, it's like being inaccurate. It's like firing your spiritual bow and arrows and missing and hitting the wrong person in the tail, hitting the wrong people. So now the people that you around and associated with, they ain't gonna see you for the right person. They're gonna see you for all the wrong reasons. You get what I'm saying? So when it come down to angel wars and stuff, you already know, like, damn, I done made myself vulnerable, and then when I do that, I get kicked down and tarnished. And then when I do too much masculine, you start figuring out like, whoa, let me G-check myself. Is it me using too much feminine energy? Is it me using too much masculine energy? Then you have to go to looking at it like, whoa, let me go to others around me let me see how I interact with others. So now you start saying like, hold on, maybe maybe it's this motherfucker probably labeling me as a demon in their mind. So anything I do, it look like a force of possession or look like some type of high requirements that they have to have. But actually, in reality, this is what your life really should have came with anyway. Because if this is what life come with, but you're so busy living death. So it gets down to a point of you have to know what you're doing out here and where you're directing your mind, your time, all of that shit, bro. Because at the end of the day, we could get lost into things of just thinking about something too long. So even when you do these videos, like as me being, you know, on these videos doing this shit for like years now, I realized like, yo, you, whatever you're going through in life, bro, leave that shit behind. This your soul group. Y'all ain't even supposed to be coming as humans in this shit. Y'all coming as humans because y'all in the human body right now. So y'all getting in the spaceship where y'all could be able to see and relate to each other. You get what I'm saying? So then at the end of the day, when you come in and to express something, or others come in and hear what you're expressing, especially if they're already on their spiritual path, they'll be able to be understanding like, oh, okay, so I'm not in a war where I'm by myself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's other angels out here. Yeah, it's other people putting in work. And sometimes it get like that, where it'd be hard even for an angel to see that you're not out here by yourself. It'd be like, what's the name from Mortal Kombat? It's like when he got the shit wrapped around his eyes, but he's still out there fighting and stuff like that. But like, hold on, bro, you might be fighting the wrong people in this type of fight. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, and it's not saying as an angel, you know, like, oh, I'm not necessarily fighting the ones right there, but we saying in this fight at the end of the day, you might be doing work on one sector. It's another sector over here. The same way as the Masons tried to cut it up and divide things, the same way that energy fucked around and came back because of all the shit that people wanted, all the shit that people went to asking for. But people went to asking for all of this with a certain type of energy and don't realize when it came down here, now they don't want to accept that energy is the way that it perceived to be. So it's a different type of way that people look at you, right? Where you could do things from a perspective of, hey, I'm just doing it. And a person will force you to have a reason of why you should do it or why you shouldn't even be doing that. And this is a case of the difference of when it get down to start looking and you start realizing like, yo, if the people around me, if not supporting me, maybe I need to move around because maybe I got a leash on me, or maybe it's a vampire around. Maybe it's this type of stuff where I need to get some type of some type of garlic and end up putting it on me so I can keep it off me or something. So that garlic would be a sense of you just saying like you taking these little mental things, these little pellets. They're not necessarily stones, but they don't grow but so big. But you placing them right there, and you like, I gotta remember this before I let myself too far off guard. Because with people like this around you, this is when you know now as an angel, like, whoa, I can't be vulnerable. So at this time, it's show you where you in a fight, but trust me, it's other angels going around. So that's another reason why I said I love this YouTube jump, man. Y'all don't understand when somebody get up here and been doing this for years. I don't even care about what the intake necessarily is of how people look at the views. But at the end of the day, if that's what we got to do to get it up, that's what I'm finna do. Be more consistent or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's only could help. It can't hurt at the end of the day because whatever I'm doing, bro, I'm doing it for God. So it's like, hey, fuck even my own thoughts. Fuck even my own feelings. And a lot of people don't understand that. Sometimes you got to bite a bullet, bro. Sometimes you got to understand that if you can't bite a bullet, your ass might be the vampire because that silver bullet might eat your ass up and kill you, kill off the minds that you have, and you don't know where to start from. So at the end of the day, you got to remember who you are because we going through a world where a motherfucker will try to break you and take you and make you out to a motherfucker that you ain't is, bro. And it's fucked up and they ain't even who you is. But right now, due to everybody being surrounded around humans and things like that, and the majority humans, you get what I'm saying, where they thinking with, oh, my thought is stronger than every other thought. Oh, my feeling is stronger than every other feeling. No, that's the reason why it's stronger, because you don't put too much time and energy into it. That's what it is. So in the mental realm, you got to understand how to get up out of those spaceships. That every spaceship ain't like that for you, so you got to understand how to operate that motherfucker. If you're going to get in a spaceship that seems like it can't drive in the direction you going, it's like, damn, every time I get in this spaceship, it's kind of fucking up where I'm trying to actually get to. Change it up. Switch it. You know what I'm saying? That might be a damn high gravity one or something that come with a lot of responsibility on you and you necessarily ain't ready for that shit. Or it might come with something where you feeling like you evolved in too much of frustration and it ain't even coming from a spiritual perspective. It's just coming from what you think people want you to do and how people gonna look at you if you don't complete this, or oh, if I can't face this by myself, how I'm gonna feel to myself. Like, man, they start playing things on you where it's you against the world. So now you can't interact with others. You see what I'm saying? So now your whole 7th and 12th house is blowed up. And it's like, damn, now how you gonna do stuff? Now you're forced to be into an energy where you didn't want to be in the beginning. So a lot of times like this, a lot of us don't see why. This is why we're born with certain signs. If you got an exterior sign with a placement there, this is why. You need to learn how to use your exterior energy better. If you got a lot of personal energy, you need to learn how to use your personal energy better. You get what I'm saying? That ain't saying you need to, I need to separate from others because I need to be in the exterior world. No, you need to learn how to work with others. Maybe it's you. You get what I'm saying? Or if you a type of person that's sitting there and you bringing it to the rest of the world like, oh, it's everybody else. Nah, bro, it's maybe the way you delivering it. And maybe it's you. It's maybe you being too harsh on yourself, or you being so harsh, only you can handle that shit. Or however that people look at it. So at the end of the day, as an angel, you know how to move. So you still know how to put people around you because you know not to push away people by putting too much masculine energy in, aka being a man that nobody want to hear, or you don't know how, or you know how to not let someone just treat you like shit and just start giving you, and you just start taking whatever somebody give you, no matter what it is. So you like an esoteric whore, or you look at it as a weak woman. You get what I'm saying? Where you don't stand that for yourself. So that way you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't perform then either. So at the end of the day, that's all this stuff be talking about. But anytime we start getting into a world where it's genderized, as soon as you say anything about gender, it's hitting trigger points, it's hitting all this. So as an angel, you battling with shit where you can't even say certain shit a certain way, because now you got to go back, you got to recorrect yourself, you got to make sure a motherfucker understand it, because necessarily, even if you know you planting that seed good, them motherfuckers might think that you ain't even watered the plant today and come over there and add too much water. You know what I'm saying? They add too much emotion to it, or they'll come over there and add too much light, too much air. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, bro, not a plant can't even sprout. It's getting knocked off. The stem breaking and going the wrong direction of where the plant was meant to go. So now a person looking at you as in saying like you the person that's wrong. You the person that's doing all this to them. So anytime they read anything, but they can hear somebody talking about somebody else, they gonna automatically pinpoint that energy on you. So as an angel versus a human, boy, it get real out here. It get real out here. You like, wait a minute, we trying to help y'all. What? Why is y'all fighting us? We already got to fight demonic shit, demons, devil, Lucifer, Satan's, like all of this connection shit we got to fight. And then here y'all come. So we got to fight this stuff within ourselves. We got to come out, fight it from within the world that we interacting with. So at the end of the day, the world could be looked at as a bad place because a lot of people is humans. But for the most part, the world can be beautiful. It can be. But it's up to us to start making different ways and higher ways that people could change the world, look at things, where people don't have to suck in certain energy, where they don't have to deal with certain shit. You just go on. Now, you don't have to deal with that. Go on. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm starting to learn more on being in my spiritual journey. It's like sometimes you just got to realize, like, yo, sometimes if you're trying to help people, and you learn that throughout life, you can help friends and stuff like that, and that same friend will turn around and stab you in the back. I done had the same friend I let live with me, then turn around as soon as he go to jail with something, come around and tell on me. So, in that way, I ain't saying like, oh, I don't trust nobody or nothing like that. But at the end of the day, this stuff can happen, especially when you living in a world where you just trying to, you know, make things better or just make the situation easier on whoever you in contact with. Like, damn. Shit, you like, you going back to the energy like your grandma was teaching you, like, hey, don't do nothing to nobody you don't want done to you. You don't rob nobody if you don't want your house robbed. Don't break into people's shit if you don't want it done to you. Period. Don't do nothing to somebody you don't want done to you. So it goes back to that type of stuff. And then it's like, damn, when people start doing stuff to you that you wouldn't have did to them, now you're starting to get your energy drained, or you're starting to get even your mental thoughts fucked with, where you can't even think for yourself no more. You got to think about how this individual might be taking things, and now that's draining you. So now you don't even realize that you're in attack with a human that been bitten by a vampire that has been overtaken, and they're not a full vamp. So at nighttime, or AKA when you're trying to express yourself, or you show vulnerability, or give them too much power, now they go to biting you, go to attacking you. So I have to wait before I get this deep, because at the end of the day, they'll block out these type of videos. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to UFOs, aliens. Bro, your UFOs, your mentalities. You know what I'm saying? This shit's unidentified. This is shit that can't be seen by the eye. So anyways, then when you're looking at your spirit, the alien, the things that be able to have internal life and be able to visit this world and be able to come back and forth. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people don't understand that. They go back out to space. So it gets a lot of lostness. And now we live in a world where they can actually make this shit look real now. Like, they can actually make this shit look like what it ain't. So we living in a world of death right now, literally. The world is dead. So now when we looking at it, we like, how's the world dead? Because these people could literally control the life, control people's mind with shit from the dead and have them worshiping that, like out hand. Like, oh, they're the UFOs we was talking about, we've been seeing different shapes, different, oh man, different aliens. Everybody's seen an alien, but yet all the ones that seen one is famous or whatever. How you know you ain't just see a mutation or something? Don't the government play with things? Don't they mutate things? And that's dealing with like the mind. When it's starting to mutate, like transcendency come from the spirit. So when it comes to mutate and manipulation and all these M's and all this shit here, they let you know this the manpower. You remember how people say the power or the man, all that shit there? Man, it all comes from a certain energy that being getting put out. They just all come in different disguises, just dressed up different. So when you see new age shit, we don't understand that stuff. So now when you seeing somebody get up there and they still have on this, they give out this certain energy, you got to pay attention to that shit. Because they be trapped in these energies. These be the minds that they still be riding in. They just done added rims on their little spaceship. They just done added AI, a Tesla insides on it. They had a 64 box inside, but now they got the Tesla insides. So when you understand stuff like this, you able to understand and break down the allegory of what's going on in this world and see it, be able to see it. Because we got to talk about the things that's not unidentified. So the way we got to bring it to the identification is to bring them from a mental perspective and use it from showing you the things on earth. What they do is take the things from earth and show you how it's on mental thing. Then take the things from that and then show you how it is in heaven. So now you think it's an actual gate in heaven instead of seeing that gate as being a blockage or being something that you probably stored or closed yourself in or locked yourself out of, depending on the situations that you have been away. So if you have not been vulnerable enough, you probably have blocked yourself away from situations. And you're supposed to have that gate open. And if you have been too open, damn, you should have probably closed that gate because now you don't let too many people in or associated yourself with too many different individuals. So when you come into these type of things, you can do this. You can freestyle because you could come in without worrying about what you're going through, what nobody else is going through, but at the same time, talk about what we need to do further is how we deal with these energies. So even without an astrologer saying, hey, first house, second house, or anything like that, we don't even have to get into that type of detail. We can see how the energy matching and who's actually spiritual to see that we're going through the same shit in life. Even if you're a human, they're going through the same flunkness in life. So right now the angels looking like, what the fuck going on? I'm just trying to help your scary ass. You know what I'm saying? How Craig was on fucking Friday. So it's like that type of stuff, and where you could give movie references there because this is stuff that as a human you have experience with humans and other things. So the relatability be different when you're trying to talk about it. So then you can see that it's not that an angel only could take one angle. No, an angel could get help from other angels too, or take other angles too, because you're not necessarily these things. But at the same time, you use these things as vehicles. So you as the spirit ain't none of these things, but you use things like this. But you, at the end of the day, you're not God because you haven't become one with just being a spirit. At the end of the day, you have to use these vessels through the things, so you have to work for God until we become one with God. But a lot of times, a lot of people don't understand that stuff. They take a mental perspective and they think that it's all that it is. But it's more to it than just the mind in the world. You know, everybody could change their mind and stuff. But anyways, man, I'm going to keep it short, and I'm out. OG Drill.